Hello and welcome to episode 149 of the Beach Travel Wine podcast. Today we are taking you on one of the most well-known and popular day trips in far north Queensland. And it is doing the Kuranda Skyrail and the Scenic Railway and exploring the gorgeous little tropical rainforest town of Kuranda. So we tell you all about getting on the gondola and going over the tropical ancient rainforest, the best ways to do that, the stops along the way. We talk to you about what we do in Kuranda and the things to see there, including the most gorgeous rainforest markets, which are all under the canopy of the big rainforest trees. Some of the most amazing little eclectic shops and tea houses and just really unusual stalls. It was really beautiful. We also talk about some of the other things that you can do up there that include wildlife encounters as well. And then we take the most amazing scenic railway, the Kuranda train, all the way back down to Cairns. Now, this is a train that was built in the 1800s. The train track and the trains, they're timber, they're beautiful. The tunnels you go through, you just can't imagine just how stunning this is. And of course, got so many photos of the railway and the gondola and the markets and Kuranda itself. So you can go to episode 149 of the podcast player you're listening on now. Go there and click the link to episode 149. So I just really hope you enjoy this episode because we had a lot of laughs talking about it and we just had a wonderful day and highly recommend it. So enjoy episode 149 of the Beach Travel Wine podcast. Good morning, Lyle.
Morning, Leanne.
So, as I said in the intro, we are on a wonderful adventure in the rainforest in tropical far north Queensland, aren't we?
We are.
Yes. All the pictures about this episode are going to be on our website because I took some really great pictures of this scenic railway that we're talking about today. Yeah.
Great pictures. I would have thought spectacular.
There we are.
May have been a better description.
All right. So let's get stuck into episode 149 about the gondola, Skyrail, scenic train, Kuranda, one of the most popular destinations to go and visit when you're in this part of far north Queensland in Australia.
Yep. You booked online the Skyrail Rainforest Cableway and Kuranda Scenic Railway package, which included casino pickup for the 15 kilometre ride to the Skyrail terminal. We chose to use the Skyrail cableway to. I'm having trouble with cableway to get to Kuranda and the Scenic Railway to go back to Cairns. However, we can choose the opposite option or do both ways on the Skyrail or both ways on the Scenic Railway.
All right, so I'll just quickly interrupt you there. When you said pick up at the casino, that was the pickup spot. We weren't actually staying there. It's not the only pickup, right?
That's right.
When I did some research into doing this trip, by far the most popular way is to, as you were saying, is what we did, go up the gondola so you see the rainforest, have your time in Kuranda and then come back down the Scenic Railway. But you can do it the opposite, but this is what people say is the best way to get the best views along the way. And I'll put a link to the one that we did because it was really good because we didn't have a car. And I wanted one that would pick us up. So that was the other reason we picked this one because it did have like a little shuttle bus. And it was literally less than a 10-minute walk to where we had to be picked up. But they do most of the major accommodation places around Cairns as a pickup. That one we had was just central to where we were near the wharf. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a must.
Sure.
Because it offers an impressive bird's eye guide over the ancient World Heritage listed wet tropic rainforest. I'm having terrible trouble. What? In Cableway. Anyway, before we started doing this, I could say that easily, but now I've gone to water.
Rainforest. There we go.
Rainforest, yeah. Spanning 7.5k between Smithfield, Cairns and Kuranda. It allows you to explore the forest floor up close, marvel at barren falls and experience an awe-inspiring ecosystem.
So how long did you say it was? 7.5 kilometres?
7.5 kilometres.
Right,
yeah.
So you hop on at the station and 7.5 kilometres. It takes quite a while with those two stops. It's quite actually, it's amazing. You think like a gondola, it's over in 10 minutes, but this just goes on and you're right. You're right over the rainforest. So, and even the rainforest. So it's really impressive, isn't it?
You just had a go at me then. Your journey includes stops at the Rainforest Station, Red Peak, and Barren Falls. You can wander elevated boardwalks, join complimentary guided tours with Skyrail rangers, and check out the Edge Lookout for sweeping views of Barren Gorge.
Now, those stops are definitely worth doing. Don't think you have
absolutely.
to stay on. And anyway, even if you don't want to look at them, you've got to hop off and then get on another one anyway. So, and they're not that long and they're not that difficult, and they're really beautiful through the trees. And then all of a sudden you arrive and you're looking down over the gorge. They're absolutely impressive, aren't they?
Yep. Now, using the free in-gondola Skyrail audio guide app, you can listen to captivating Dreamtime stories and learn about the land from the traditional custodians. Now, they're where the terminal is when you get onto the cableway. Notice I've got cableway really easily then. There's barcodes up on the walls, and it's just a matter of obviously clicking scanning that, and
goes onto your phone.
Away you go. Now, Barren Gorge and Falls is a spectacular rugged rainforest ravine. Carved by the Barren River, it forms part of the World Heritage listed wet tropics and is famous for its towering peaks, lush vegetation, and thunderous Barren Falls. The gorge drops steeply from the Atherton Tablelands down to the central coastal lowlands, creating dramatic scenery. Barren Falls is a massive tiered waterfall reaching a total height of 260 metres or 853 feet from the top to bottom. During the tropical wet season, they transform into a roaring, misty torrent, while the dry season reveals massive granite tiers and rock formations.
So that's where we were at that stage, and it was absolutely impressive. And they've got quite a new walkway there, which is very wide, isn't it? And it's a viewing platform, and you almost feel like you're on top of the big boulders and the rocks and things. It's pretty impressive, that viewing platform for sure. And there were lots of people there, but there was still heaps of room to get a really good view over the top of the falls and see it go right down into the gorge. It was amazing.
Look, to be honest, as absolutely spectacular as all the scenery is, the actual Skyrail cableway is amazing in itself.
Sure.
I'll just give you how it was built. It was built over 7 years of planning and construction, opening in August 1995 using pioneering environmental techniques. Workers built the 32 towers in small 10 by 10 metre clearings. Because no roads were built to protect the ecosystem, materials were flown in by helicopter and footings were dug by hand. Specialized heavy lifting Russian Cayman helicopters were used to fly in materials, cement and tower sections. To prevent rotor downwash from disturbing the rainforest canopy, building loads were dangled from 100 metres long lines. It's just incredible.
Do you remember the lady that picked us up from our accommodation?
Yeah.
She was saying that she was a little girl and lived opposite where the station is for the gondola, and she remembers watching these huge helicopters bring in the poles that they put in there. She said it was incredible.
Yeah. Once you finish the actual cableway, you arrive at the Kuranda railway station, and it's just a short walk to get to the actual village. It's not too steep, but it's up a little bit of a hill there.
There's quite a lot of gondolas, though. It's not like you have to wait long. There seemed to be quite a line when we were there, and because it was a bit wet, the people putting us onto the gondolas, they had their squeegees and they were wiping the rain off the window so you could get a good view. And they were making sure that they didn't put too many people in one gondola. So it was just us and another couple at one stage. And then it was us and like one other person, even though they can seat 6. And it doesn't matter which way you're sitting. The views are amazing and you can look down. I've got some photos of just looking down at my feet and then the rainforest below. Yeah,
it is stunning. Now, Kuranda,
yes.
Kuranda, known as the village in the rainforest, is a vibrant mountain retreat It is famous for its eclectic markets, wildlife parks, Indigenous art galleries.
So this is where the skyline finishes, the gondola finishes.
Yep.
So it's the gondola to Kuranda. So you hop on down in Cairns, and the last stop is Kuranda. And that's where this gorgeous little arty village is.
The Kuranda original rainforest markets and the heritage markets are filled with handmade crafts, leather goods, Aboriginal artefacts, and fresh local produce. Established in 1978 by local artisans and hippie craftspeople, the original rainforest markets are a historic open-air marketplace winding beneath a lush rainforest canopy. Roaming buskers, guitarists, and didgeridoo demonstrations provide live entertainment. It's open daily from approximately 9:30 to 3 p.m.
Now, when we got there, we wandered up the main street from the gondola, and there wasn't a lot in that main street of Kuranda. There was a couple of little shops, but a few touristy ones, and there's some unusual ones. There was some crocodile leather ones and that sort of stuff. And we finally found the markets, and I was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. And as you said, they're winding little paths, but it's tiered and there's flags across it, and you're right under the rainforest. But there's these little huts. There's one little hut that was somebody's workshop and had all his timber tools and things in there. And there was another little hut that was like a Japanese tea house. And then there was like a famous donut shop.
Oh, yeah, I remember
people
that,
just like lining up for these donuts, and little restaurants. We went to like a Latin American restaurant to have a drink and something to eat. Just really unusual little eating places. There was this beautiful dog. I'll put this picture will be on the website. He's just sort of sitting on this chair like he owns it, and he's sort of looking around at people. It was really unusual. We found a little dinosaur in this putt-putt golf thing, which obviously keeps the kids happy while Mum and Dad are having like a whatever sort of coffee they might be serving in this particular cafe, and murals and artwork. It really is very appealing. Like I would love to go back and have more time. I really loved it. I thought it was very clever. There's some other sort of really funky shops around there as well.
Yeah, well, my favourite was the Kuranda Gem Museum, also known as the Emu Ridge Gallery, is a unique attraction located at the Kuranda Original Rainforest Market. Founded by local gem fossickers Chris Martin and Shane Hebbard, it features a vast collection of precious gems, crystals, and fossils from around the world.
There's a big dinosaur skeleton there, and it was free to go in.
Yeah. Like he actually, one of the guys who was operating the shop, he said, "Look, come in. It's no charge. I think you can put a donation in. There's a really nice museum downstairs." And Leanne and I both went down, and
it was just full of all these beautiful gems.
Like, it was just incredible. Like, if you do get the chance to do that, I highly recommend it.
And there was another shop that we got to just before that, which was this guy making combs from the horns of animals, obviously like ones they found, and these stunning hair combs were so delicate. That was pretty impressive too, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
But there are some other things that you can do up there, as well as just the markets, right?
Well, the village hosts several popular attractions where you can interact with Australian animals, including the Australian Butterfly Sanctuary, Bird World Kuranda, and the Kuranda Koala Gardens. Only 10 minutes from Kuranda is the popular 100-acre ecotourism rainforest station nature park. It blends three main experiences: an amphibious World War II Army duck tours through the rainforest, an interactive Indigenous culture show, and a native Australian wildlife park. Walk elevated boardwalks to view native Australian animals up close. You can hand feed kangaroos and wallabies, and spot koalas, cassowaries, dingoes, Tasmanian devils, and crocodiles.
But if you've got kids, that would be a really impressive thing to do.
Oh, and probably international tourists, like to get up close to the animals.
There were some big coaches. Yeah. So obviously they come maybe from Cairns and they just do those. But there is a shuttle bus. So if, like us, you don't have a car, there is a shuttle bus that runs out to 10 minutes.
And that heads out from the
Tourist Information Centre.
Tourist Information Centre, but specifically from the Butterfly Sanctuary
which
area.
Is right there, near the entrance of the markets and near the Tourist Information
There's also
Centre.
a Kuranda riverboat cruise departs from the jetty located right below the Kuranda Railway.
That'd be nice.
Skyrail station.
Nice calm water.
Yeah, departs 5 times daily for a 45-minute calm water cruise along the Barron River. It provides excellent, unhurried photo opportunities of freshwater crocodiles, water dragons, turtles, and diverse tropical birds. The railway itself, construction of the Cairns-Kuranda Railway was and still is an engineering feat of tremendous magnitude.
Before you go to the railway,
Yep.
can I just talk about something else that's up there near the markets? Is that World War II?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
and I've got a photo of it. It's like a World War II wreck. Now, it didn't wreck itself here. It was actually a plane in the war, and it was basically after the war, it became a commercial aircraft for TAA and East West Airlines in 1976, and it was finally put to rest in the graveyard in 1983, and then someone came along and bought it and painted it up again to look like a warplane. And so it was in a movie up this way, and it was called, obviously it was a great movie because we all remember it, don't we? The Sky Pirates.
No idea.
The 1986 Sky-Fi,
I
Sky
don't think I won
Pirates.
too many Academy Awards because I got no idea.
And now it's called Miss Fortune. So
Miss Fortune.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's right there, just almost on the side of a street. And it's pretty, like it looks like it's crashed there and everything. So
yeah, because it's sort of got the rainforest sort of growing within it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you look at, because you're up so close to it, you can actually see how it was built and like
pretty incredible.
But it didn't look that solid to me back in the day. Whenever it was built for the Second World War, they weren't too solid. But anyway,
so I've got photos of all. Obviously of the rainforest markets and the plane. I did get a couple of those, and the museum that we went into, and lots of different photos. It's really an unusual place and lots of different photos there. But when you finished up there, then the tour that we're on, you get a time to go down to the train station. And what a pretty little train station that is. And so it's a timed, I think that we had like this, there was like 1:30, 2:30, 3:30. So we just you get a message to say what time your train's coming and the seat that you're on.
Which carriage,
Yeah, that sort of thing. So, and for me, this was like once again one of the highlights of the trip that I wanted to do, because if you Google or see photos of the Kuranda day trip, the train going around that great big curve, which we'll talk about in a minute, on that bridge with the waterfall, and it just looks magical, which it was. And I was really looking forward to going down this old-fashioned train. I wasn't expecting it to be so pretty, that even the train station and the train itself, the photos are amazing. So,
well, I'll give you a bit of the history.
Yeah, okay.
In 1873, the cry of gold echoed through the mountains. Primitive supply routes from the coast to the swelling gold fields were slow and perilous.
So the gold was found, and what you're saying is to get the supplies there was really
dangerous.
Hard. So then they decided they're going to build if you've seen this countryside, like you just like, let's just build a railway, shall we? In the 1800s.
Yeah, in 1882, a devastating wet season brought misery to the blossoming township. Supply routes were impassable and thousands of people came close to starvation. A reliable supply route had to be found. Legendary bushman Christy Palmerston was tasked to find a route to link the rich mining belt to the sea. In 1887, construction commenced on one of the most ambitious railway projects ever undertaken, and that is no understatement. The track travels on a narrow gauge which measures 1,067 millimetres or 3 foot 6 inches. Before 1901, each of the 6 British colonies were responsible for rail transportation infrastructure. Queensland, Western Australia and Tasmania constructed narrow gauge railways. The other colonies built standard gauge or broad gauge railways.
And as I said to Lyle earlier, that's still a problem today, because you can't go from one state to another state on a train because the gauges are different, which is ridiculous, right?
Yeah. So I've got some track trivia. 1,500 men, majority of Irish and Italian descent, built the railway. The distance from Cairns to Kuranda is 33 kilometres of track. The ascent is 327 metres above sea level. Engineering and earthworks. Removal of 2.3 million cubic metres of earth, 106 cuttings, 15 hand-carved tunnels, 1,746 metres in length, 55 bridges, 244 metres of steel bridge spans, and 1,890 metres of timber bridges, 98 curves. At least 20 to 32 workers are officially recorded as having died during the construction between 1886 and 1891. Now, how they have a discrepancy between 20 and 32 is beyond me.
And I think the commentary that we had on the train the whole way suggested there was even more than that.
Yeah, but part of that was being bitten by snakes, getting illness. There was
dysentery, all the stuff,
and malaria. There was all that sort of thing.
So it was living conditions.
Yeah, so and just think about it,
it was pretty harsh.
Oh.
The train trip down does have that commentary the whole way, which is actually really good because the train slows down when it needs to show you things, the views, the bridges, and gives you the information on it. It stops a couple of times as well, which is really cool. Yeah.
Well, they actually give you a brochure and it's got all the stops and all that sort of thing.
Can you tell us a bit about the actual train, the carriages and things?
Okay. So the carriages date back to the early 1900s, and the earliest being BL 520, built in July 1909. Each carriage is made from silky oak timber, but today more sustainable timbers are used in their upkeep.
They're beautiful, the carriages, aren't they? And I've got a couple of pictures of inside the carriages. They're wide and they're spacious, and the timber detail on the ceilings and the chairs, they're pretty nice.
Yeah, and as Leanne said, the railway station is pretty cute. It's a heritage-listed mountain station famed for its lush tropical gardens and distinctive 1913 Swiss chalet-style architecture. Built between 1910 and 1914, is one of the earliest stations in Australia built using standard concrete units and remains the oldest of its kind in Queensland. The station features the Kuranda Railway tea rooms. And we actually got back a little bit early and we decided we're going to have a cup of tea with scones, strawberry
really
jam, whipped cream.
It's a lovely little station, isn't it?
And only matched by their scones. It's pretty special, really. Now,
one of the first stops, though, when you hop on, and I was just going to say, when we first got on, there's so many people in our carriage. I think there's only one guy across from us, and they're long bench seats, but every seat was taken up, and I'm like, damn it, I just want to be facing that way and taking photos. And as soon as the train started, the conductor, the lady came round, and she moved everybody. There were obviously spare seats around, so they make sure everybody's got a good view and a good seat and got lots of room, which I thought was a really nice detail.
The whole day, whether it be the Skyrail or the train, I thought the staff were excellent.
Yeah, and they obviously know that people want to not be jammed in and they want to get good views, and they're really good at doing that. Once we got started, it wasn't far before we stopped at that Barron Falls station, remember?
What we're going down is the Barron Gorge National Park.
Okay, yeah, let me just describe it. So we come up the gondola on one side of the Barron Gorge over the rainforest, and the train actually goes down the other side, doesn't it? Yeah, so it's all the Barron Gorge National Park, that's right.
So Barron Falls is the centrepiece of the park.
Yeah.
During the tropical wet season, floodwaters transform the falls into a thundering, spectacular cascade.
Which is what we said when you could see from the other side, yeah?
A wildlife corridor with tree kangaroos, spotted-tailed quolls, the endangered southern cassowary, and the brilliant blue Ulysses butterfly.
We stopped at the Barron Falls station, and you get off the train to take photos. So they let you get off. Now, it's a couple of steep steps to get off the train. But the falls that we looked at from the other side, from the viewpoint, this time we're looking back over the whole gorge, and you can see the two waterfalls that come in to make the one. And I think these views are even though you're up close on the other side, you get more of an idea of just how massive this gorge is and how high the waterfalls are. It was really impressive. Okay,
so the falls are 327 metres above sea level, with the drop of 265 metres. This just breaks me up. In the early days, a flying fox traversed the gorge, providing a way to transport supplies, livestock, and people across the river.
I'm sure the cows would have been so happy going across that.
Seriously, that is insane. That would never happen. Workplace health and safety, they would have some issues with that.
They
But
would today.
back in the day, they did it. There's also the hydroelectric station, was Australia's first underground power station. Construction started in 1932 and electric supplies commenced in 1935. It was only 3 years it took them to build
that.
That's incredible.
So all the way along, we're getting commentary and we're stopping if there's somewhere to stop and take photos, or the train is slowing right down. And honestly, some of the views are incredible, but you realise how enormous this task of making this railway must have been, because you're right on the edge of some pretty high cliffs up in the mountains. Like you just can't even imagine how they did it, and all by hand as well. And all those tunnels that you were talking about, they dug them all
by hand.
Oh my gosh, it was an engineering feat, as you said.
Well, this is probably my favourite part of it, was the Stony Creek Falls Bridge, which I think, to be perfectly frank, would be everybody's. It's the most outstanding feature of the railway. It was built on an 80-metre radius curve to avoid digging a tunnel through the gorge rock.
So this is the picture that everybody sees. It's, the big crisscross trestles underneath the railway line and down the gorge on one side, and then to the other side you've got the Stony Creek Falls, which you basically are going straight over the top of them. You're that close, and they slow right down so where everybody can have a good look, get a photo, get a video. And where we were sitting,
also I think they slow down because they have to slow down because of
really
where
slow,
it is.
And from where we were sitting, you could see the front of the train. So you've got the big curve of the whole train and the view on one side, and then on the other side you've got the waterfalls. Oh, it was even better than what I hoped. I was just blown away. I loved it.
It is one of only 2 railway bridges in Queensland constructed with special wrought iron trestles. It provides passengers with sweeping views of the waterfall directly from the train carriage. When you go down, there's actually an area that's called Horseshoe Bend.
Well, hang on, back to that bridge.
Oh, right.
That when it opened, they actually had a party up there to
That's
open
right.
it. So can you imagine, like, the people walking across that bridge drinking?
They had tables put, that was fully catered for the governor or something.
Oh my
Just
gosh,
insane. They had no concept at all.
Danger.
No.
Yeah. So, and then you wind your way down a bit further, and you've got the views down over Cairns and to the ocean as you're going down. And then you come to the Horseshoe Bend you're talking about.
Yeah. The special thing about this site was known as Jungara during World War II, with the largest field hospital treating injured soldiers in the Southern Hemisphere. That's sort of a little bit of trivia there.
And then it just sort of slowly snakes its way down to a couple of different stations, the train. You can get off if you're catching a bus back up to Port Douglas or one of those other places north of Cairns. There's one station that you hop off. And
that's the one prior to the Cairns
main station. And then
where
we got off, we went right back into Main Street of Cairns, and the train station, you just go up the lift or up an escalator and you're in the big shopping centre.
Which is amazing.
And then straight through the shopping centre, you're 3 blocks from the waterfront.
Esplanade again.
So that's how the whole trip for us evolved. So I'd highly recommend the way we did it. I think it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And there's nothing about it I didn't like, to be honest.
I agree, Lan. I thought it's up there with the trip out to the reef and and seeing the coral reef and that sort of thing.
And I don't like heights, and I never felt unsafe or worried in the gondola.
It's because of the views, you just everywhere you look is just spectacular. Yeah. So 100%.
And it's like the oldest continuous living ancient rainforest in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is the second podcast we've done about Cairns, and I said to Leanne that there's so many adventure things to do in this area. In fact, we're going to do our next podcast, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, is going to be Port Douglas, which is only 40 minutes drive up the road, and from there it's 15 minutes to the Daintree rainforest and all that sort of thing. So that'll be in the next podcast. But there is so many things to do up there. It reminds me of my favourite place in the world, which is Queenstown, New Zealand, because apart from the fact that because the food was fabulous, the Great Barrier Reef was great, everything's great, except there's
crocodiles
and the weather in far north Queensland is not good for producing wine.
No.
But it was I just loved it.
Yeah, we had a great time. So highly recommend. As I said, this is episode 149. There's a link in the description on the player you're listening on now that you can go and have a look at the website, which has all the photos that I took. And I'll put a link to the actual tour that we did. Well, we did. Did we have a wine? We did have a wine. Where was your favourite place to have a drink on our Kuranda day?
Oh, and I'm sticking with a cup of tea and the scones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I quite enjoyed the mojito that we had in the rainforest market.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I looked at the market with eclectic. It's not often that you get a chance to use that word eclectic, but it's definitely eclectic.
I reckon that word was made up for this rainforest markets.
Maybe.
All right. Well, we'll see you in episode 150.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Port Douglas.
Let's go. It's goodbye from me.
Yeah, adios.